As the fighting in Ukraine enters its third year, some Western allies are contemplating the possibility of becoming more deeply involved in its conflict with Russia. In late February, French President Emmanuel Macron refused to rule out deploying NATO troops to Ukraine. Former US Defense Intelligence officer Matt Shoemaker says it was Macron's attempt to push back against Putin.
He certainly wanted to send the message to the Russians that and put them on the back foot, if you will, to put them on the defensive that NATO might actually get involved. But unfortunately, since President Macron did not give an indication to his fellow NATO members that he was going to say this, it certainly put them on the back foot as well.
But another analyst, Sean Steinberg from the Sufan Center, says some NATO boots are already on the ground.
Well, it is true that there are, it seems that there are, NATO advisors, or at least NATO member states have advisors and, special forces on the ground in Ukraine. But I do think there is a huge, massive red line separating advisors on the ground versus US and NATO troops fighting directly against Russian troops.
Retired Vice Admiral Robert Muret, the deputy director of the Syracuse University Institute for Security Policy and Law, says US troops can be found worldwide, but that doesn't mean they're fighting.
Not every embassy that the United States has around the world, every last one of them have a Marine Security Guard detachment. So we have Marines that do protection. So in small numbers, yes, there are active duty military personnel in Ukraine.
Ruslan Bortnik, the director of the Ukrainian Institute of Politics, says NATO deployment is inevitable.
Russia is a lot bigger than Ukraine, so there will either be a threat of Ukraine losing the war, or foreign troops will need to be sent to the country.
Bortnik believes that as an entity, NATO is unlikely to send troops to fight in Ukraine. But he says that individual member states like France, Poland, the Netherlands, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, or one of the Baltic states could choose to do so. Maxim Adams, VOA News, Washington.